Good morning, Kasturians, and welcome to video 2 of chapter 1 of civics, that is the constitution and the need for laws. In this video, we will see some of the social evils and the different laws or acts which have been mentioned in the constitution to prevent them. Also, we will see the rule of law. So, let's start. The very first social evil is dowry. Dowry is the money or gift which is basically demanded now by the groom's family at the time of marriage, and the bride's family is forced to pay it. It was not so like today we see this. Earlier it started with the bride's family giving the either money or different valuable things as a gift, but later on the system changed and groom's family started demanding this, and this became a social custom in the very beginning and got transformed into a social evil. When such news were heard and the need was felt to stop this practice by making law, the Dowry Prohibition Act was passed by the government in 1961, and the government prohibited accepting and giving dowry. Anyone, if caught giving or taking dowry, was liable for imprisonment as well as fine. One more major social evil was the female feticide, and the female baby were killed within the womb before taking birth. To stop this practice, the government has passed the PNDT Act in 1994, that is the Parental Diagnostic Technique Regulation and Prevention of Misuse Act, and it was effective from 1st of January 1996. It prohibits the determination and disclosure of the sex of the fetus before birth, and also prohibits any advertisement of prenatal sex determination. Violating of PNDT Act can attract imprisonment as well as fine also. It is not always the case that the laws they are prepared or they are introduced for the welfare of people. Sometimes the people they defy such laws, and depends upon the situation and condition that the people, instead of obeying a law, they express their disagreement with the law and they defy such laws. Let us have a look from some such events from the history. The very first being the Salt Satyagraha of 1930, that is the Dandi March. The Britishers they imposed salt tax, and they also prohibited the Indians from making the salt. So it allowed Britishers to have monopoly on salt, and Gandhiji launched Salt Satyagraha or the civil disobedience movement, and the very first step was to break the salt law. And for this, on March 12, 1930, Gandhiji started marching towards the coastal village of Dandi from his Sabarmati ashram, and he was followed by some 78 of his followers, and they reached on 6th April 1930, that is after 24 days and covering 240 miles, they reached Dandi, and there Gandhiji prepared the salt himself, and in this way he broke the salt law. So this incident is known as the Dandi March or the Salt Satyagraha, or also it is popular by the name of civil disobedience movement. It is the start of the civil disobedience movement. Also anti-liquor movement were there, that is after independence so many liquor shops were opened by the government, and in the state of Andhra Pradesh, the women they started protesting against opening of the liquor shop, as the men folk or their husbands they were used, and they became habitual and addicted, and they used to spend a larger part or sometimes entire income on liquor. So the women they started protesting the liquor shops, the opening of the liquor shops, and unauthorized counters were opened by these liquor shops to increase their sale. So people they were getting alcohol easily, and they got trapped in the addiction of alcohol. So some brave and courageous women they decided to protest against the sale of liquor, and finally liquor was banned, and a ban on the liquor shops was imposed. Now we will see the rule of law. Rule of law implies the rule of law only will prevail, and no one is above the law. Everyone will be treated equally in the eyes of law. This is the meaning of the rule of law, and this is the essence of Constitution of India. Even the persons like the Prime Minister or President, they are also subject to punishment if found guilty, and as per the conditions and terms written in the Constitution. This rule of law not only implies that everyone will be treated equal before the law, it also regulates the powers of the government, and also stresses that everyone, if he or she is a citizen of India, will be given equal treatment or fair treatment from the Constitution. So the rule of law is a complement to a popular and true democracy. That's all we have in this video. Thank you and have a nice day.